Good afternoon, Veritas scientists. Today is Friday, May 1st, 2020. Today we're going to be reading about Canada geese, and I just made a video with Charlie and Johanna down at the farm that shows some examples of behavioral adaptations of geese, so make sure you check that out. But first we'll go over yesterday's question. We had this question from yesterday, and we'll go over that starting now. So number one from yesterday said, list as many structural adaptations and as many behavioral adaptations or instincts as you can for lions. You must label them as either structural or behavioral adaptations. So we're listing them out. So I just made a list of structural. I have them all labeled as structural adaptations, and behavioral adaptations are on the right. Okay, so structural adaptations are body parts that have allowed lions, for this example, to be able to survive where they live. So there were changes that have happened to lions over many, many years that have allowed them to be able to live where they live. Okay, so some structural adaptations are they have sharp claws, they have sharp teeth, those help them to hunt and to eat. They have a tail that helps them balance. Their eyes can see very well at night. We read about that yesterday. There's a mane for males is thick for protection, right? They have their mane on their neck, right? This part of the lion's neck is called its mane, and that's really thick, which protects him from being bit by larger lions. Okay, and to look bigger. It also makes the lion look really big and scary looking, right? They have fur for camouflage. It is camouflage. They have very powerful muscles. They have a powerful jaw so that they can hunt and that they can chase their prey. Their eyes face forward for hunting so that they're able to look straight ahead and hunt. And their ears face forward also so that when they're ready to hunt, right, if they are chasing something, like these are females, they do the hunting, they can look straight at what they're chasing after and never take their eyes off of it. And their ears will face more in the front like this so that they can hear the thing that they are chasing. Okay, some behavioral adaptations of lions, behaviors, right? These are instincts. They're behaviors that they're born already knowing how to do. No, their mother doesn't have to teach them these things. They already know to do this. And those are behavioral adaptations or instincts. Okay, so they live in a pride. They live with lots of other lions. The females hunt and they share the food that they get. The males protect the cubs while the females hunt. They sleep for 20 hours a day so that way they're very well rested for when it's time for them to hunt at night. The cubs, they play fight to learn how to hunt. So that's their behavior. They are born knowing to fight with their brothers and sisters, and they will learn how to hunt. Okay, the females hunt as a pack. So they go out together. They help each other hunt. That way they're more likely to be successful. The females sneak up on their prey by hiding in tall grass. So they know to sneak up quietly in the tall grass and hide there. The males fight each other, and the strongest is the pride leader. All right, so the males will fight each other. So that's a behavior to see which one of them is the toughest, right? Because the toughest, the strongest ones are going to be the ones that survive. So the males do that with each other, and the one who's the strongest is going to be leading the pride of all the females and all the babies and some of the other males that are not the leader. Okay, and the weaker males, the ones that lose those competitions, are kicked out of the pride. So the stronger ones continue to live, and the weaker ones get sent out to live by themselves, and they eventually will most likely die because they don't have a pride to be able to keep them safe. Okay, so now here's the question for tomorrow, just in case the reading cuts out. My video might get cut short, but it says, identify and list as many structural and behavioral adaptations as possible for Canada geese. You must label them as either structural or behavioral adaptations. So similar question as today, you're going to label them as structural adaptations, the body parts, and behavioral adaptations, ways that they act or ways that they behave that have helped them to be able to survive. So these are Canada geese. And we're going to read about Canada geese right now. All right, but if the video stops, it's because I ran out of memory on my phone and I want you to answer this. We'll go over it tomorrow. And please watch the video that I'm going to upload about Canada geese behavioral adaptations, because that's a cool example with Charlie and me and Jojo teaching you about Canada geese. Okay, so these are Canada geese. It says Canada geese live primarily in Canada and the United States. In areas where lakes and rivers freeze, the geese are unable to swim and find food. The geese migrate or move together south to warmer places where food is available. Successful migration is the result of physical and behavioral adaptations. Okay, so physical would be structural body parts. So that helps them to migrate, but also behavioral adaptations that they have that help them to be able to migrate. Okay, and this is one we talked about the other day. It says the flock changes leaders during flight to give the lead bird a rest, right? So the one that's out in front, all the air, the wind is pushing against the goose, right? So all these other ones behind it can it gets some of that air, some of that wind gets blocked, right? You see runners in races do that. If this runner is running this way, the second person is not going to be next to him. They're going to be right behind him because it cuts off some of that wind. The wind is being blocked here by this guy. So you're kind of in a pocket without any wind right there. So that's what they do. And they know to change leaders, because if not, this one would get so tired that he would eventually not be able to fly any further and would die. So they change leaders. This one will lead for a while, then this one will lead for a while, and then they'll take turns. That way they can all have a better chance of migrating and surviving. A flock of geese migrates along the same route every year. The group travels in a V-shaped formation. Geese use less energy in this formation, so they can fly longer distances. The Canada goose has many structural adaptations to help it feed. Its webbed feet help it swim efficiently as it searches for food. The goose's long neck enables it to search below the surface of the water. Its bill has jagged edges for straining water and a spiny tongue for sifting through food. The front of the goose's bill can cut grass, seaweed, or hard kernels. I'm almost done.
I need to tell you something.
One sec, I'm almost done. If a goose is threatened, it opens its wings as widely as possible. This makes it look bigger to predators. And I talk about that in the video that I keep telling you that I want you to watch about Canada geese and their behavioral adaptations. All right, and the last thing it says here is the goose's feathers help hold in heat to keep the goose warm. So think about whether that would be a behavioral adaptation or a structural adaptation. And your job over the weekend or today is to identify and list as many structural and behavioral adaptations as possible for Canada geese. So you can use some of the ones we just talked about, go back and pause or slow down my voice so that you can write down some of those examples and come up with as many of them as you can for structural and behavioral adaptations. And that's it. Smile, Jojo. Hope everybody has a great day. See you later. Bye.